and welcome to the next in the Day in the Life demo series for the Infor Distribution Suite. My name is Mike Mazzoni, and I'm a solution consultant with Infor Distribution. In today's presentation, we're going to be focusing on the sourcing and procurement module within the Infor Distribution Suite. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the daily tasks and activities associated with an inventory manager in a wholesale distributor. Today, we'll be working as Progressive Supply. Progressive is a multi-location industrial distributor located in the Midwestern United States. My role in today's presentation will be Mike, the inventory manager. Mike will take you on a tour of the distribution suite from the point of view of a purchasing agent and inventory manager. This will include real-time visibility into rush ship customer requirements, late purchase orders and those that have not yet been acknowledged by the vendor, and the utilization of surplus inventory availability across the organization. It's important when we look at distribution solutions in our Infor Distribution Suite to understand how we're going to effectively leverage the tools and how we're going to address the trends in wholesale distribution. Today's users expect tools like real-time exception-based notifications, both on their home page and their desktop, as well as through their mobile applications. They expect easy access to information and detailed information so that they can make effective decisions quickly. We need visibility across the organization, not just within my business unit. And really the goal here is to make sure that we have the right product in the right location at the right time to most effectively serve the customer. At this point, let's jump into the live application and take a tour of the Infor Distribution Suite sourcing and procurement toolset. So I'm on my way to the office, but before I go in, I have a meeting out in the field with one of our large customers who's looking to scope a large project that they're going to be working on bidding. I'm meeting that customer, but I know that I still have my responsibilities in the office that I have to deal with. So what tools do we have today that we're used to in our lives? Our mobile phones. In this case, of course, I'm going to go into my phone. I may be checking my email. I may be communicating via text message. But I've also got my Infor mobile applications. Specifically, I want to jump into the Infor Mobile Mingle tool. Here, I'm able to see alerts, tasks, posts, and notifications which are specific to me and my role within the organization. As I go over here as Mike, the inventory manager, and take a quick look at my notifications, I see I've got a PO here that's exceeded a certain dollar value and needs to be reviewed. Okay, I'll take a look at that when I get into the office. Let me just complete that or resolve that notification. And here I can see down below, I've got a line item on a sales order for Chicago Park District, one of my great customers, and they've identified it as a rush ship requirement. Now, once again, this is something I'm certainly going to address when I get to the office, and as soon as I log into my buyer's dashboard, I'm going to be able to view and make sure I can reconcile that rush ship requirement. The other thing I might want to take a quick look at, are there any tasks or workflows that I need to follow up on? And immediately I see a couple. Here's a couple purchase orders that need to be approved. Specifically, here's one that's come to me as the director of purchasing. So I can see very quickly who's the vendor, the product, the quantity, the total amount. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this. I'm going to assign it to myself. And once I do assign it to myself, I spoke to this vendor. I know why we're cutting this large PO. So let me just go ahead and approve this, let that purchase order flow out to the vendor so we can start to process that transaction. At this point, I'm ready to jump back in my car and head into the office. Now I've arrived at the office and I've logged into my home page. Notice that once I'm at my home page, I'm seeing much of the same information that was presented to me in my mobile device. I can still see those same alerts and tasks and notifications, and I can even see some of the conversations that I'm a part of from my posts page. Again, here I can take action on some of these workflows, whether I need to approve a purchase order or follow up on an action, but I'm remembering that I had that rush ship requirement. So the first thing that I want to do is jump right into my Infor Distribution tool and specifically right into the demand center. The demand center truly is my buyer's dashboard. This is where I'm going to come to review any inventory or purchasing requirements that the system has generated, whether they be simply to replenish stock inventory on the shelf or whether they be driven by customer specific requirements, as was the case with that rush ship requirement for Chicago Parks District. When I come in here, I'll identify myself as the buyer. I can focus on an individual warehouse, or I can view all of the warehouses within my region that I'm responsible for. In this example, I'm just going to focus on Warehouse 1, the Columbia warehouse, which happens to be our central distribution center for Progressive Supply. Now, once I do that, I'm going to see a list of all the vendor and really specifically vendor and product line requirements where the system is recommending that I replenish inventory. I know that I want to focus immediately on that rush ship requirement, so I can see very simply over to the right I've got a visual diagram showing me the different priorities for purchasing that I have out here. I know that I want to focus on those rush ship requirements, so right away I can simply click that slice of the pie and it's going to filter down the reports or the recommended purchase orders on the left to just those rush ship requirements. Now I may want to hide that visual over here because I want to view some additional information in terms of where am I against my free freight, what's the total order here, what is the priority itself. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drill right down into that recommended replenishment report. Once I get in there, now I can see that rush ship requirement. I can see the quantity that's required in this case. I can see what my current replenishment cost is. If I'm happy with this, it's ready to go. I can simply create the purchase order and send it off to my vendor. But I may want to drill down and get a little more detail with regards to why there is a rush ship requirement here. So right away I can drill down. I can see additional customer order details. I can see any comments that may have been passed along from the customer service or inside sales representative. If I wanted to, I could actually drill right into the order inquiry detail. Maybe I need to go take a look at this particular transaction and determine who was the sales rep on this transaction. Maybe give them a call and find out, does this really need to be rush shipment? Are we paying freight, or is the customer going to be paying freight for this small order rush shipment? In any case, I'm able to come in here and quickly identify all the information that I need to make an effective decision, and I'm ready to go ahead and create this purchase order. So I'll save that, and I'll return to my buyer's dashboard homepage. Once I return, while I'm here, let me just go take a look at my second highest priority, what we typically refer to as the negative purchasing net available. Those recommended replenishment reports where I have more commitments that I have due in plus available quantity. And in this case I can see a couple of additional reports have appeared on the screen. Let me go ahead and drill into CBC Tools and see what's happening and what the requirements are for that particular vendor. When I drill in, I notice a couple of things. I have a number of different products. Some of these products happen to be tied to customer sales order requirements. Some of them are non-stock products. That's all fine. I can very quickly identify. Once again, I can click into the quantity fields. I can click into the pricing fields for replenishment costs, and I can modify as necessary. But the one thing that's jumping out to me over here on the left is a couple of these products are showing a little indicator, a little arrow all the way to the left. And what that's telling me is, while I do have a purchase requirement into Warehouse 1, we're also showing surplus inventory across other locations within our organization. So if I quickly drill down on this A3D product, where I'm being told that I need to replenish 2 into Warehouse 1, I can very quickly see that in Warehouse 2 for this product, I'm showing a surplus quantity of 2 pieces. So rather than purchase more inventory from the vendor and increase my inventory investment, bring more into stock, let me leverage the inventory that I already own. Let me generate that transfer immediately on the fly from Warehouse 2 to Warehouse 1 for that particular product. Why buy more when I already own it and it's showing a surplus across my organization? Beyond that, I can review the rest of the lines if I can make any adjustments as necessary. And once again, if I'm satisfied with the recommended purchase order, I can save that, update the record, and then finally go ahead and choose to create the purchase orders. Now, the majority of the creation process is set up to be defaulted in my vendor setup record. However, I can come in here, I can make any adjustments as necessary. I can determine whether I need a copy of that, either hard printed or viewed on the screen or emailed to myself. And once I'm ready to go, I can go ahead and click OK and process the transactions. So I've gone into my N4 distribution suite, into the demand center, and I've addressed the critical and rush ship requirements that really need to be identified and dealt with immediately. At this point, what I like to do in my day is go over and take a look at any purchase orders that have yet to be acknowledged but are expected to arrive soon. So I jump into my N4 reporting tool. Now, within the N4 reporting tool, we've got a number of reports, out-of-the-box canned reports available for our customers to do different things like look for past due purchase orders, look at all my open orders by line item, by order, look at late delivery analysis for my vendors. But really what I want to focus on today is, like I said, just those purchase orders that have been entered that are expected to arrive soon but have not yet been acknowledged. And I'm going to look out through the 29th of April. So once I do that, I'm able to very quickly and easily get a report of all of those purchase orders that have, in this case, been approved, when they were entered, when we expect them to arrive, but yet have yet to be acknowledged by the vendor. So what I like to do with this is I can certainly forward this on to one of my coworkers to follow up. I may want to take this and just drop it out into Microsoft Excel because I'm going to work the list myself. Whatever the case might be, I now have a quick and concise information available to me to effectively follow up on those purchase orders that have yet to be acknowledged. Finally, what I want to do today, I know that Allen Bradley, one of my largest vendors, is coming in this afternoon. And I want to be prepared when we have the meeting to sit down and talk about our relationship moving forward and any negotiations from a pricing perspective. So I'd like to come into my Infor Business Intelligence tool and go take a look at my procurement dashboard and see how Allen Bradley's been performing for us in the past. Within this procurement dashboard, I can very quickly see things like order information, last 6 quarters, year over year. I can look at open order and close status. I can look at delivery information. I specifically now want to focus on my on-time deliveries by supplier. So I'm going to go ahead and drill into that on-time delivery dashboard. Now what it's showing me right here is my overall on-time, early, and late delivery percentages for all suppliers. But like I said, I really want to focus on Allen Bradley since they're coming in this afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and drill down within the data in my procurement dashboard, my on-time delivery dashboard, and I'm going to focus on Allen Bradley. And right away I can see that Allen Bradley's had 2 different deliveries on time. That's been 12% of their deliveries. 9 times they've been late, and 6 times they've been early. So this is good information for me, but it'd be even better if I can actually focus at the product level on where they're being effective, where they're delivering on time, and where they're struggling to deliver product on time. So by drilling down within the dashboard itself, I can now see the product level detail. I can see which products are coming in on time, which products they're struggling to deliver on time and are coming in late, and which products have been coming in early. And I can even go one step further and look at when those products are coming in late, how late are they? 1 to 2 days, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 6, etc. This is great information for me to have at my fingertips when I'm ready to sit down with the vendor. So again, I can effectively negotiate my position, make them understand where we are in our relationship, and hopefully improve that on-time delivery percentage as we move forward. So just to wrap up this day in the life presentation of an inventory manager, you'll remember that we were able to consume information and even take action from our mobile device, those tools that we're used to in our home lives that we all love and use on a daily basis. Once we got to the office, we were able to see that same information and take the same actions from the home page. From there, I was able to quickly access the demand center, my buyer's dashboard, and identify those rush ship and critical inventory requirements. Not only did I identify them and generate the POs, but I was able to satisfy the requirements for one of the products by leveraging surplus inventory from an alternate warehouse location within my organization. Finally, I was able to leverage Infor reporting and Infor business distribution analytics to go ahead and identify those purchase orders that hadn't